For centuries, we believed we knew the timeline of the ancient world. We thought we understood the rise and fall of the great Bronze Age empires. But a single geological heartbeat has just rewritten history. One of the largest volcanic events in the last 10,000 years didn't just change a landscape. It shattered a civilization that we thought was invincible. This is not just a story of fire and ash. It is a story of how the very sky turned against humanity. To understand the scale of the catastrophe, we must first look at who was lost. The Minoans were the masters of the sea, a sophisticated maritime superpower centered on the island of Crete. They built sprawling palaces, pioneered complex trade networks, and lived in a world of vibrant color and advanced artistry. They were the heartbeat of the Mediterranean, seemingly untouchable by the chaos of the land. But they were living on the edge of a sleeping giant. The legend of Atlantis has long whispered of a lost civilization swallowed by the sea. While many scholars dismiss the myth, the reality of the Thera eruption is far more terrifying than any fable. It wasn't a myth. It was a geological apocalypse. The island of Thera, now known as Santorini, was the epicenter of a cataclysm that would send shockwaves through every corner of the eastern Mediterranean, fundamentally rewiring the power structures of the ancient world forever. For decades, a massive discrepancy existed in our records. Archaeologists and scientists were at odds, unable to agree on exactly when this disaster struck. Traditional archaeological dating suggested one era, while radiocarbon-based dating suggested another. This tension created a mystery that haunted the field of Aegean studies. However, recent radiocarbon dating research has finally broken the deadlock, fundamentally shifting our understood timing of the eruption and bringing us closer to the truth. The new evidence is staggering. We now know that the Thera eruption predates the reign of Pharaoh Ahmose of Egypt. This shift in the timeline changes everything we thought we knew about the interconnectedness of the Bronze Age. It means the Minoan world was already reeling from disaster, while the great dynasties of Egypt were just beginning their most famous eras. The chronological dominoes of the ancient world have been rearranged by the precision of modern science. What exactly happened on that fateful day? The eruption of Thera was one of the largest volcanic events in the last 10 millennia. It wasn't just a local explosion, it was a planetary event. The island of Thera literally exploded from the inside out, creating a massive caldera that collapsed into the sea. In the process, it buried the thriving city of Akrotiri under meters of pumice and ash, preserving a moment in time that would serve as a tomb for an entire community. As the ground tore apart, the sea responded with terrifying violence. The collapse of the volcanic caldera triggered massive tsunamis that raced across the eastern Mediterranean. Imagine the Minoan coastal cities, the very lifeblood of their maritime empire, suddenly facing walls of water taller than the highest palaces. These tsunamis didn't just destroy harbors, they wiped out the infrastructure of trade, the very foundation upon which the Minoan superpower was built. But the destruction didn't stop at the shoreline. While the water attacked from the front, the sky attacked from above. Recent studies have revealed a chilling detail. High-altitude wind patterns played a crucial role in the Minoan collapse, as the volcano spewed millions of tons of ash and aerosols into the atmosphere. The winds carried this toxic shroud across the Aegean. This wasn't just a local cloud. It was a regional atmospheric catastrophe. This ash cloud had devastating consequences. It didn't just block the sun, it poisoned the very air and settled upon the land. The ashfall would have smothered crops, turned fertile fields into gray wastelands, and caused a sudden sharp drop in temperatures. For a civilization dependent on agriculture and stable weather patterns, this was a death sentence. The wind had effectively turned the sky into a weapon of mass destruction. The evidence for this atmospheric impact is found in the very soil. Researchers have looked at the biological markers left behind, such as the olive shrubs buried on the nearby island of Therasia. These botanical fossils provide a window into the mid-16th century BCE, helping to pin down the exact moment the world went dark. The ash didn't just kill, it preserved the evidence of its own violence, leaving a chemical signature that science is only now beginning to fully decode. So, how did a single volcano topple an empire? It was a perfect storm of geological and environmental failures. The tsunami destroyed the navy and the ports. The ashfall destroyed the food supply. The atmospheric cooling disrupted the climate. Minoans were hit by a triple threat: fire from the earth, water from the sea, and darkness from the sky. They weren't just defeated by a volcano, they were overwhelmed by a cascading series of systemic collapses. The fall of the Minoans created a power vacuum in the Mediterranean. For centuries, they had been the dominant force, the bridge between the East and the West. When they fell, the balance of power shifted violently. New powers, like the Mycenaeans from mainland Greece, began to rise from the ashes of the old world. The Thera eruption didn't just end an era. It acted as a violent catalyst that forced the Mediterranean into a new, more militaristic age. We often view history as a steady progression of kings and wars, but the Thera catastrophe teaches us that history is fragile. It can be rewritten in a single afternoon by the shifting of a tectonic plate or the movement of a wind current. The Minoans were a pinnacle of human achievement, yet they were humbled by the very planet they called home. Their story is a reminder of our own vulnerability in the face of a changing Earth. The lost knowledge of the Minoans continues to be unearthed, one shard and one carbon sample at a time. As our technology improves, the shadows of the past become clearer. The Thera eruption remains one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world, a moment where the Earth spoke and the world listened in terror. We are still learning to read the scars left upon the Earth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the unseen layers of time. If you want to explore more lost chapters of our history, subscribe to Epoch Unseen. The past is never truly gone. It is only waiting to be rediscovered.